On today's video, Mulan is out in the Chinese version of Rise of Kingdoms, and in this video we're going to go over most of what you need to know about her, including her talent trees, including every single skill, what it does, how it is, and all the stats, and if she's going to come out or isn't going to come out into the international version of Rise of Kingdoms. And of course, at the end of this video, we also have a small hope for free-to-play players, something new to Rise of Kingdoms that I think is awesome, but we're going to leave that towards the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Sit back, drop a like on the video, and let's go. Hey there YouTube, welcome back to Gekko Gaming. First and foremost, massive shout out to Asbodian. Thank you very much for letting us know about this information, and if I butchered your name like I told you I probably would, I apologize for that. This man sent us all the details we needed to know about Mulan, and it's time to share it with you all. Before we start though, I'm a sponsored content creator by Rise of Kingdoms. If you enjoy the content, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, get a notification when we upload a new video. 63% of you haven't subscribed yet. We do Rise of Kingdoms videos every single day and get you the latest of accurate information as quickly as possible. So don't forget to get that subscription going. We'll talk about Mulan in more detail on stream tomorrow, 4 p.m. UTC, probably 4:30. Anyway, let's get into Mulan. At this point, I kind of want to show you a little bit of imagery of her skills and all that. I can't read Chinese, but luckily Asbodian provided us with a translation, which we'll look at in a moment at the end of this. But, I mean, she looks kind of cool. The second skill right there, 5% and 10%, you'll see what, and 100, you'll see what that means momentarily. We have the fourth skill. The third skill we actually don't have a screenshot of, but we have the information about it, and we'll go about it in a moment when we talk about the skills. And of course the final expertise, which brings up from 15 to 20 and from 25 to 30. You'll know what that is momentarily. Let's go look at the translation provided again by Asbodian. Again, thank you very much, my man. Mulan is a legendary integration peacekeeping support commander. Boo. She's a peacekeeper. It is what it is. A legendary commander. We don't know where you can get her yet. I'm going to try to find out this information and give it to you on tomorrow's stream, so make sure you show up for that. 4:30 p.m. UTC, we will be streaming, and we'll be streaming later tonight, by the way, some ruins fights. We get to fight ruins again. Woo! Let's do it. With that being said, the first skill is, it requires 1,000 rage as an active skill, and it provides attack, defense, and HP bonuses. Okay. She's like a Joan, a weaker Joan. 25% march speed for 3 seconds to self and to allies nearby. That with the expertise goes up to 20%, and the march speed goes up to 30%. She's like a weaker Joan, realistically, except that this is like generic. This is for everything. So all the marches get attack, defense, and health bonuses, unlike with Joan, which has specific stats for specific types of troops. This is one of the reasons Mulan could be really, really, really strong. She can give these buffs to any type of troop, and if there's a Joan nearby, she'll just override the specific stat for the specific type of troop and even make it better. But this is actually nuts. She's a super strong support commander in the sense that now you can get 20% of all 3 stats to you and nearby armies, regardless of the type of troop. I feel like we're going to see a little bit of her on the field for sure. And so does Rise of Kingdoms think, because of the next skill, which is it reduces damage taken by 5% when being surrounded. Counterattack has a 20% chance to reduce damage, to reduce the enemy's rage by up to 100, triggered once every 5 seconds. So Rise of Kingdoms predicted that the most likely outcome is if she's on the field buffing everything, she's going to get swarmed quickly to get rid of her. And so when she's being swarmed, which means more than one march is hitting her, she gets a 5% damage reduction, and every single counterattack she does has a 20% chance to reduce the enemy's rage by 100. So if she's getting surrounded by 5 marches, 5 counterattacks are happening, and therefore 20% chance of each that one of them will lose rage. I think that the 5 seconds is a bit too much. It will not be that useful. If that was like every 2 or 3 seconds, that would be a little bit easier, because what this means is that you can trigger it probably twice at the most before a regular commander's active skill goes off and the rage is consumed. And so when you're getting surrounded by 5 marches, you're essentially taking out 200 rage in 10 seconds out of 1 or 2 of those 5 marches, and the rest are just going to destroy you. So that's a point that is important to keep an eye on, but a very, very interesting skill. Those two first make a lot of sense, and if she comes out into the global version of Rise of Kingdoms, I have a feeling we're going to be seeing her quite a bit on the field, supporting marches nearby. And for the record, she's a great support in general. You can have her on a farm. You can have her as a low spender who's trying to contribute even further to your alliance by being the guy doing the supporting. I like her. The third skill being increased XP gain by 95%. That's if you're in the early stages of the game and you get her, that's fantastic for you to train your commanders and level them up. If you're in a situation that I've gotten into where every commander that I want at level 6 is at level 60, and every commander that I care to be at level 60 is at level 60, and at any point I can just level them up to level 60 because I got a ton of these XP books. So that skill is less relevant later on, but in the early stage, it could be nice to get 95% extra XP for a march. You can just train a secondary commander really, really fast. The fourth skill increases attack by 20% and provides additional benefits when Mulan is secondary commander. It increases enemy damage taken by 20% after casting the main skill. So if she is a secondary commander, she's going to give all this extra stat as a primary. She increases the attack by 20%, which is kind of weird considering she increases the attack by 20% up on the top on the first skill. So that's a little bit of a question mark. This is for 3 seconds. The top one is for 3 seconds. This one is for good. So it seems like the top is kind of made for the rest of the people, I guess, the rest of your alliance. This is, of course, at an expertise level, meaning that the skill is leveled up all the way to the top. When she's a secondary commander, she increases the damage taken by the enemy by another 20%. This is not an attack increase. This is damage increase, which means skill damage, attack damage, counterattack damage, direct damage, all types of damage that you're doing are going to get increased by 20%. As a secondary commander, what we're going to see is a secondary Mulan with a primary tank that is just going to tank it out and dish a stupendous amount of buffs all over the place for everybody nearby. When she's expertised, all the first skills buffs go up to 20% and the march speed goes up to 30% instead of 25%. And that is Mulan. I kind of like her. I like the fact that you have a peacekeeping support commander that you can send like a primary Richard tank crazy with a secondary Mulan to go help your big fighters get a little bit of extra stats. I like that they take into account the fact that because she is so good at supporting, she's going to get swarmed, and therefore there's a anti-swarm measurement in her. It's not that big, but it's something. I like the fact that as a secondary commander, she does damage increases, which means you could theoretically also send her with a stronger damage dealing commander if you'd like to. And even with a Richard as a tank primary to get her to survive the longest, when he procs skills with extra attack and with extra damage, he can put out some good amounts of damage. So I really like the way Mulan is looking. Now, unfortunately, Mulan is not available in the global version of Rise of Kingdoms. I mentioned this in a stream before, and I'll explain to you how Mulan came to be. Back in the day, now it's still a thing, but there was a movie coming out by Disney a few months back, a remake of Mulan, and Rise of Kingdoms kind of wanted to create a cross-promotional thing where they add Mulan into the game just when the movie releases, and it's like a Disney Mulan integration into Rise of Kingdoms. They've actually been doing this in a couple of their other games. I believe AFK Arena did a thing with Assassin's Creed where now you can play with an Assassin's Creed character in AFK Arena. I think that's what they did. I saw it in one of the ads, honestly, on YouTube, so that's one thing. So the movie got delayed, and when the movie got delayed, so was her release. She has been in the game files since Atao Takeda came out for the first time, and she just wasn't released because the movie wasn't being released. And now Disney announced that on September 4th, the movie is going to be available on Disney Plus exclusively, and I'm assuming that's why she's back on the table, and if she's going to come out into the global version of the game, I'd assume she's coming out kind of at the same time the movie is, to be a kind of a cross promotion. Why could she potentially not come out into the global version? The Chinese version is a little bit more like Chinese specific. It applies more to the folks in China, and it might not necessarily care too much for like potential copyright regulations and things like that in the United States, for example. If Rise of Kingdoms don't have an official thing with Disney, which I do not know if they have one, having a commander named Mulan and being the Disney character in a game that is provided in the United States could potentially be a copyright infringement, and it could cause the removal of her from the game and potential lawsuits and things like that. So her being in the global game will only be determined on whether or not they have the permissions to essentially use the name and the character that is Mulan, the Disney character, as part of their game, and not essentially get a big fat lawsuit from Disney. And if you think that that doesn't happen, it very much does. It very much does for the dumbest of things. I can tell you a story about this game that was fairly close to that, but maybe we'll do that if you guys smash the like on this video. One day I'll tell you the story about one of the most bizarre things that happened in this game that have to do with litigation. But with that being said, I hope she comes out in the global version. I hope they manage to do the cross promotion with Disney like they wanted to before. And I like her. I think she's going to be really cool. I don't know how we can unlock her yet. I'll try to get that information and make it available for you all on tomorrow's stream, Wednesday. It's August 19th, 4 p.m., 4:30 p.m. UTC. If you're watching this video later on, there's a VOD on the channel available for you to get that information as well. And I owe you one final thing that I really, really liked seeing, but it's awesome. I love it. I think it's super cool. And I've been really looking forward to see this happen. It's a change in Rise of Kingdoms that makes one of the commanders that was only pay to win, not only pay to win anymore. Can you guess? Minamoto. Minamoto showed up in the first ever wheel. That's right. Back in the day, the first ever Wheel of Fortune in Rise of Kingdoms was a generic wheel. It was just legendary commander sculptures. And now they have turned the first wheel of a kingdom into a Minamoto wheel. Is it going to come back after the first wheel? I don't know. Is it going to be more than one wheel and push back all the rest of the commanders so there's 3 wheels like most commanders of Minamoto? We still don't know. But what we do know is that he is in the first wheel a kingdom gets in the Chinese version. Is it going to be in the international version? I don't know. But there you go. Minamoto, not only a buy VIP packs commander anymore. And we'll see how they integrate that, if they integrate that into the international version. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. For now, I'm Gekko. I'm out of here. I appreciate every one of you. Drop the like on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell, join our Discord. We'll continue our equipment series videos. Next, on Thursday, we have infantry sets ready, archer sets coming up, and much, much more. A lot of details in the next video as to how we're going to cover the rest of equipment in Rise of Kingdoms, so don't miss that. I'll see you all tomorrow on stream. Take care and have a good one. Peace.